Swamiji, welcome.
Hari Om.
What is the meaning of a spiritual life?
See, the purpose of spirituality is to know oneself as we are. So the gist of all our scriptures is this, that we are infinite, we are immortal, we are perfection absolute. So in Sanskrit we say, Aham Brahma Asmi. So all the spiritual practices are meant for gaining this knowledge. At present we have this wrong notion that we are the body. And all our suffering is because of this. So our scriptures say, know yourself as you are, and then you are free from all your problems in life. That's all we need to do.
So if I am not the body, then what am I?
You are pure consciousness. You are the observer of the body, not the body. So the law is this. The observer is always different from the observed. Whatever you are observing, you are not that. So this is the logic. For example, I am observing this watch, so I am different from this watch. In the same way, this body is something which you are observing. So if you are the observer, then you are not the body, which is the observer. Even the thoughts, who are you? Are you the thoughts or are you the observer of your thoughts? So when you sit in meditation, you find that you are watching your thoughts. So that means you are witnessing your thoughts. That means you are different from your thoughts. If you are a witness of your thought, then who are you? So that we say, you are that awareness, you are that consciousness, in the light of which you are aware of your thoughts, you are conscious of your thoughts. And the nature of consciousness is, it is Sat Chit Anand. Sat means existence, absolute existence, pure existence. That existence which can never become non-existent. Means what? Immortal. The nature of consciousness is, it is immortal. And it is Anand, infinite bliss.
So my consciousness is different from my thoughts and my body, and that itself is immortal.
Yes.
And it has taken form in this body for a temporary amount of time.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Okay.
Exactly like, the wave. This is a very common example given in our scriptures. That wave thinks that it is a wave, and then it compares with other waves. Then it finds that there is a bigger wave. Then it becomes miserable. It has inferiority complex. Then it finds that there is a faster wave, bigger wave, mightier wave. Then it is miserable because it is comparing itself with others. And this wave sees the shore, and all the waves which go to the shore, they die. So then this wave thinks, I am going to die because once I reach the shore, I am finished. And then one guru wave comes and says, oh fool, you are not a wave. Find out who you are. And that wave looks into itself and finds that it is not a wave, it is water. And the moment it comes to know that it is water, what happens? Suddenly it feels that all these waves are also water only. So I am myself expressing through various waves. There is nothing called wave, there is only water. And suddenly it comes to know that it is infinite. It is not that little wave, it is that infinite ocean. And then all the misery comes to an end. Now it is not scared of the shore, because in the shore only the wave ends, not the water.
How do I translate that to humanity?
So in the same way, when I come to know that I am consciousness and not the body, at present the biggest mistake I am doing is, I think I am the body. And now, my desire is always for existence. That desire is always in me. I want to live forever and ever and ever. There is nobody who wants to die. This desire is there in every one of us. Where is this desire coming from? The desire to live forever, where is it coming from? It is coming from the fact that I am actually immortal. Again, all of us want happiness. You name anything, happiness, peace, contentment, whatever it is. All of us are seeking that. Where is this desire for happiness coming from? This desire is coming because happiness is our nature, peace is our nature, fulfillment is our nature. So that which is your nature, you will desire it. You cannot desire the opposite. You can never desire sorrow because sorrow is not your nature. You can never desire death because mortality is not your nature. But the problem is the moment I identify with the body has to die, body has to become old, body will have all this disease, and therefore I am miserable when I see all these things. I am miserable when I see that I am growing old. I become miserable because I see that the body is going to die. Where is this misery coming from? This misery is coming from this wrong understanding, this wrong notion that I am the body. So how to put an end to this? There is only one way, right knowledge. And what is the right knowledge? I am not the body, I am consciousness. And through meditation, when I gain this knowledge, what do I find? I find that I am not body in consciousness, I am consciousness with a body. And then what happens? With this right understanding, when I look around, I find that all of us are nothing but consciousness only and not the body. Now, there is a vision of oneness. Earlier, there was a vision of plurality. I am different, you are different, he is different, she is different, we are all different. And then I compare, then I compete. But the moment I come to know I am consciousness, there is nobody to compete because we are all one. And then what happens? All the negativities go away. Jealousy, hatred, revenge. You see, there is only peace. Now this is called as vision of oneness. And wherever there is vision of oneness, all the noble virtues automatically come. I cannot but love myself, expressing through different bodies. So there is compassion, there is forgiveness, there is love, there is cooperation. This is the beauty of spiritual knowledge. So therefore, Bhagavan in Bhagavad Gita says, Nahi jnanena sadrisham pavitrameva vidyate. There is nothing greater than, there is nothing more purifying than right knowledge. The entire Bhagavad Gita is nothing but this. The entire Upanishad is nothing but this. And it is from this knowledge that the famous saying, Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, the whole world is one family. That comes from this knowledge. So therefore, if we want to put an end to all miseries in life, this is the only way.
I have to acknowledge the consciousness in me is the same as the consciousness within you.
Yes.
And we are both waves that will return to the water when we hit the shore.
Yes.
Correct.
Yes.
Swamiji, what is your daily routine?
See, in spirituality, whenever we talk of daily routine, we have to take care of all our personalities. So what are the different personalities we have? So in scriptures we say we have 4 personalities. One is the physical personality. Next is the emotional personality. Third one is the intellectual personality. And the fourth one is called spiritual personality. So your daily routine must be such that all the personalities are taken care of well. So the first one is physical personality, the physical body. So what should we do? We should keep the body healthy. Give the body good food. Food alone will not do, good exercise is also necessary. So according to scriptures, good exercise means yoga and pranayama. So I do Surya Namaskar and I also do pranayama. How does pranayama help? You see, what is the most important thing for the body? Food, water or air?
Air.
Air. Because without food you can live for so many days. Without water also you can manage. But what about air? Not even 1 minute, isn't it?
So what is this pranayama?
Pranayama is controlling the breath. Especially taking deep breath. Take deep breath, observe it, and release it slowly. So prana means, loosely translated, prana means a breath. And this prana actually has got 5 aspects in it. Prana, apana, vyana, udana, samana. Pancha pranas we say. Okay. So if you see, the entire body, the physiological functions are taken by these pancha pranas, taken care by these pancha pranas. For example, samana vayu. it digests the food. Whatever food is eaten, this food has to be converted into energy. And the samana vayu, the digestive fire, the digestive prana, it takes care of it. So if your samana vayu is strong, whatever you eat, it is well digested. Now once this energy is formed, this energy has to be circulated throughout the body. This is done by jnana vayu. And the blood is the carrier of this energy. Right? So it is carried all over the body. Then once this food is digested, waste material is there, it has to be evacuated. That is done by apana vayu, excretion system. In the process, the blood becomes impure. So the breathing, it throws out carbon dioxide, takes in oxygen. In this way, the blood is purified. And there are emergency system also. Sometimes you eat something which doesn't gel well with your body, it has to be thrown out. So that is called as udana vayu. That vayu takes care of all that. So in short, when you are doing pranayama, all the physiological functions becomes very, very active. And thus you have a very good health. There is this wrong notion, that you go to gym and you have this biceps, tricep, then you are healthy. No, not at all. You see how scientific our scriptures are. When your physiological functions are working well, then only you are healthy. It is not the biceps, triceps or the six packs which are deciding whether how healthy you are. No. So this is the purpose of pranayama, to strengthen your pancha pranas. So then you are physically healthy. So till now I have spoken only about the physical personality. So every day we must have time for this exercise. Again, Surya Namaskara keeps your entire body very flexible. The whole body becomes flexible. That is Surya Namaskara. It can be done with pranayama also. So this is about physical. What is the next one? Emotional personality. This is done through seva. When your mind is filled with all noble virtues of life, compassion, forgiveness, humility, all these noble emotions, devotion for God, when your heart is filled with that, then we say you are emotionally healthy. When the mind is free from all kinds of negativities, selfishness, hatred, jealousy, all those negative feelings, when the mind is free from all these negative feelings and the mind is filled with all noble emotions of life, then we say you are emotionally healthy. So this is done through seva. So wherever your field is, you serve people around with this noble emotion that you are serving Bhagavan himself through your profession. Then you are taking care of your emotional personality. Then what is the third one? Intellectual personality. Your intellect, your buddhi. You must have the right understanding about what life is. Why am I here in this world? What is the purpose of life? Who is God? What is my relationship with this world? How to gain happiness in this world? You must have right understanding.
What is that purpose of life?
Purpose of life is to know yourself that you are God, that you are perfect.
The consciousness.
Yes, that is the purpose. So your entire life must be geared towards that, because you must have a noble goal. Without a noble goal, the best from you cannot come out. The best in me can come out only when I have a noble goal in life. And the scriptures give us the ultimate noble goal, not small things. So, intellectual personality must have the right understanding about life. In fact, your entire thing depends on your understanding of life only. Depending on your understanding of life, your thoughts are generated in the mind. And based on your thoughts, your speech, your actions, your personality, your destiny, everything is depending upon what is your understanding about life. So therefore, this right understanding we gain when we study the scriptures. Otherwise, we will never gain all this. In the schools and colleges, you don't get that right understanding. You get some knowledge about physics, chemistry, math, something. Breadwinning education, yes, you will get it from your schools and colleges. But the right understanding about life, you get it only from scriptures. And this is called as Swadhyaya, study of the scriptures. So, yoga pranayama for the body, seva for emotional personality, Swadhyaya for taking care of the intellectual personality, And then finally the spiritual personality. This we do through meditation. So we can say sadhana. There must be some time in the day where you are in tune with your Creator, with God, through prayer, through meditation, through chanting, japa, whatever it is. You are in tune with your Creator. You talk to Him. You communicate with Him. You will always find that whenever you are walking the wrong path, unrighteous path, there is a guilt. That guilt is the voice of God saying that, my dear child, you are going wrong. And whenever you are walking the righteous path, there is peace. That peace is an indication that God is happy with you. So there should be time where you are in the presence of God. So if all these things are there, then we say your daily routine is beautiful. Many times what happens is only one aspect is taken care, other aspects are neglected. This should never happen. So in my daily routine, all these things are there.
Doesn't pranayama come into meditation?
It all depends. If you're doing pranayama, focusing your mind upon the self, upon consciousness, then it becomes meditation also. You can combine so many things. With pranayama, you can combine meditation also.
Okay.
But if you're just watching your breath, then it is mere pranayama. It is something like fasting. If fasting is done as upavas for thinking of God, then it becomes dieting also, and it becomes a spiritual practice also. But if it is just merely abstaining from food, then it is mere diet.
So it is not only the action, but the intention behind the action.
Yes.
That matters.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
That's the difference between just breath work and meditation.
Yes.
How do men properly practice Brahmacharya or celibacy?
First of all, we will have to understand why Brahmacharya or celibacy has to be practiced. Why should we do it? So again, you have to turn to scriptures. What do the scriptures say about celibacy, about sexual indulgence? You see, our scriptures are against it because there are a lot of disadvantages in this sexual indulgence. Number one, the physical body becomes very weak. With every indulgence, the body becomes weak because all the vitalities are drained away. So there is this Kathopanishad where Nachiketa asked Lord Yamaraj about self-knowledge. He asked for that. And then Yamaraj said, why do you want? Nachiketa is just a boy of 10 years. Why do you want all this? See, I can give you so many things. Land, long life, money. You see, all these apsaras, they will serve you. At that time, Nachiketa makes a statement. Shobhavamartyasya dadyantakaitat sarvendriyana jarayanti teja. So the statement made is sarvendriyana jarayanti teja. All these pleasures, O Lord, which you are offering, it just drains away all the vitalities. All these apsaras and all that. So this is defect number one. At the body level, the more and more you indulge, the body will become weak. Remember, the strict law of this nature is no gain, no pain. If you are getting cheap gain, understand you are losing something. There is some pain. Understand? There is no cheap pleasure. There is no gain available without pain. So if you are gaining some pleasure, understand there is something which you are losing.
Can I also describe that as instant gratification?
Correct. That initial pleasure which you get. So remember, there is a price for everything. There is a price for every pleasure. And the price you have to pay for this pleasure is you are making your body weak. Because what you are losing is the essence of your body. It is said that the food which you eat, it becomes blood and flesh and so many. And finally, the essence of all essence is what goes to become the sperm or the semen. And this is what you are throwing out in this process. So is it worth it? Is the question. So physically you become weak. Again, the sense organs, there is something called strength of sense organs. Your eyes, your ears. With every indulgence, they become weak. Okay. Now, so sense organ level also, you are at a disadvantage. Again at the mind level. The more and more you make it a practice, slowly what happens is you start getting addicted to all these practices. So you become a slave of your mind. Every little thing in this world starts triggering you in this direction. Because you have made it a habit. So at the mind level, you become a slave. Again, the world level also you become a slave. So you become a slave of your mind. You become a slave of the world also. Such a mind is very fickle mind, weak mind. It gets agitated very easily, gets irritated very easily. So finally, what are you doing? You are making yourself weak. And now, there is another law also. As your thoughts, so will be the world perceived by you. So if I start entertaining sexual thoughts again and again, what am I doing? I am training my mind to think only sexually. So what happens is, this beautiful world, I will be automatically attracted to all sexual things. As your thoughts, so will be the world perceived by you. In my college days, I used to have friends. For every little thing, they would crack some vulgar jokes. You see that entire personality. It becomes a very vulgar personality. Nothing good is seen, only vulgarity is seen everywhere. You understand? And then, as your thoughts, so is the world formed around you. This is another law. If my thoughts are vulgar, I will automatically attract all vulgar people around me. What kind of company will I form? The drunkards, they form, the drunkards become their company. You
so
see?
Thought becomes your perception.
Yes, your thoughts become your perception and the world around you.
And perception becomes reality.
Yes. You attract such people around you. If your thoughts are spiritual, you will find that spiritual people you attract, divine people you attract, good people you attract. If your thoughts are good, you attract a wonderful world around you. If your thoughts are bad, you attract equally bad people around you. You see, our thoughts and the world, they have a relationship. You will always find this. If my thoughts are engineering thoughts, what kind of world will form around me? Engineering world will be formed around me. For example, I am studying hard for engineering. So I will be in an engineering campus. What is engineering campus? Engineering books, engineering professors, engineering campus. And what kind of problems I will solve? Engineering problems.
So I control my thoughts, so I therefore control the reality.
Yes.
And self-discipline becomes a form of freedom.
Yes, yes. Everything starts from me. I am the ruler of my destiny. You see, if my thoughts are political, I will have a political world around me. If my thoughts are related to music, arts, that kind of world is found around me. If my thoughts are criminal, what kind of world?
Criminal world.
Criminal world will be formed around me. You see?
But the mind is so fickle, how do I control it?
That's where meditation comes into picture. In meditation, you are taking care of your thoughts. Everything about your life is your thoughts. That's why that famous saying goes, beware of your thoughts because they become your words. Beware of your words because they become your actions. Beware of your actions because they become your habits. Beware of your habits because they become your character. Beware of your character because ultimately they determine your destiny. So where does everything start from? Thoughts. So the most important thing is I must take care of my thoughts. Then everything automatically is taken care. So how to take care of my thoughts? I have to look within. Because thoughts are something which doesn't happen outside, it is happening inside. So at the physical level, I become weak. At the sense organ level, I become weak. At the mind level, I become a slave of my mind. I am training my mind in a negative direction. Every time I am indulging in this pleasure, what does it mean? I am training the mind in certain habits, in vulgar habits. Vulgar habits of thinking, vulgar habits of doing. So if my thoughts are vulgar, automatically I will see only a vulgar world. I will create a vulgar world around me. You see, these are all laws. Okay? Now, is it worth it? is the question. For that little pleasure, is it worth it? You are a total loser. The pleasure which you are going to gain is temporary, very superficial, but the loss is massive. Loss is massive. So, therefore, all the scriptures, they are against this kind of pleasure. Okay. In Bhagavad Gita it is said, Yehi samsparshaja bhoga dukkhayonaya evate adyantavanta kauteya nateshu ramate yuda. These pleasures are adyantavanta. It has a beginning, it has an end. Wise people don't revel in it because it is a womb of all sorrows. Dukkha yoni it is called. A womb of all sorrows. What comes out of womb? Children come out of womb, isn't it? This pleasure, from it, only sorrows come out. Okay. Now the question is suppression the way? Because yes, I am troubled by lust. What to do? So then one option is suppress it. Is suppression the way? We said no. Suppression will lead, it's like a pressure cooker. You have a desire, but you are not expressing it. With your willpower, you try to control it. How long? A time will come, it will just burst out. So in scriptures, we don't talk of suppression. We talk about sublimation. What is sublimation? Sublimation means exposing the mind to the higher joys of life so that the mind becomes free from the lower pleasures. Higher joys. What are the higher joys? The higher joys of meditation, the higher joys of devotion to God, the higher joys of selfless service. They are more fulfilling joys. For example, if the mind mind wants happiness. If you don't expose the mind to the higher joy, it will get addicted to the lower joys. You can't prevent the mind from going towards the lower pleasures of life. So, what has to be done? Expose the mind to the higher one. For example, from all these vulgar pleasures, suppose you are getting, say, 100 units of happiness. If meditation is giving you 1000 units of happiness, or 1 lakh unit of happiness, mind will prefer that. So this is called as sublimation. Expose the mind to the higher so that it leaves the lower. Exactly like how you climb a rope. How do you climb a rope? First hold on to the higher, then leave the lower. Then again hold on to the higher, leave the lower, isn't it? So this is the way. Otherwise you can never win over lust. It's impossible.
So one who chases his purpose is not distracted by pleasure.
True.
How do people identify these higher joys if they don't know?
You'll have to come for these classes. There are so many wonderful classes happening all over the world. Associate yourself with good people, wise people. All kinds of people are there in this world, wise and otherwise. Associate yourself with wise people. They will show you the way. Tadvidhi pranipatena pariprasnena sevaya upadekshyanti te jnanam jnaninaha tatto darshina. There are great masters in this world who are living a very happy life, peaceful life, contented life. They are the masters of life. They are the masters of their mind, masters of the world. Approach them. Fall at their feet. Serve them. Be in their company. And then slowly you learn the righteous way of living. This is called as satsang. Associating oneself with the wise people. Otherwise we are all andhena niyamana yathanda, blind leading the blind. In the society, the so-called famous people, most of them are blind. They don't know any idea about what spirituality is. And they say, come, follow me. I will show you. He himself is blind.
All these people who have achieved material success, do they lack in purpose?
I don't know. But majority of them, yes.
Is material success okay if I know my purpose is to be conscious and we're all of the same consciousness?
See, spirituality is never against material success.
Okay.
No. In fact, both of them should go together. There should be material prosperity and also there should be spiritual evolution. Both should go together. There should be prosperity outside and inside. Spirituality is never against material progress. No.
Both are in balance.
Yes. And you will always find that material success comes naturally to a person who is spiritually evolved.
How?
A person who is spiritually evolved, he will have his thoughts under control. He has a choice. You know, all kinds of thoughts are there in the mind. Good thoughts and bad thoughts. Who is a spiritual person? Spiritual person is a person who has mastery over his thoughts. So therefore, such a person is able to choose his thoughts. So what kind of thoughts he will choose? Good thoughts. He will give expression only to the good thoughts. So these good thoughts become good words, loving words, sweet words, beneficial words. And his actions are also good actions. What is a good action? Action that is beneficial for all. Such actions are good actions. And good actions come from good thoughts. So from my good thoughts comes sweet words, beneficial actions. So such a person who is working for the welfare of all, naturally he will be loved by all, respected by all. And such a person will automatically attract material progress. No doubt about it. You see, there won't be any difficulty at all. See, material success means what?
Money, wealth.
It is not just wealth. See, just because you are wealthy doesn't make you happy. There are so many aspects. Material success means, number one, wealth, of course, because it takes care of my bodily needs, food, shelter, clothing. But material success also means I am surrounded by people who love me and whom I love. And I am surrounded by people who respect me. You see, that is also material success. Many times you have a lot of money, but people around you are inimical. That is not material success. Real material success is this: your physical need, emotional need, and intellectual need, they should be taken care of. There is an emotional need in me. What is that? People should love me. That's an emotional need. There is an intellectual need in me. What is that? People should value me, respect me. So physical need is met, emotional need is met, intellectual need is met. At that time we can say, yes, you are materially successful. And all this comes when you are spiritual. A spiritual person has to be materially successful. It happens as a byproduct.
So material success is just a side effect.
It just comes to you. It comes. Because you have such a dynamic, cheerful personality. Who will not be attracted towards a cheerful personality? Tell me.
Nobody.
Nobody. Everybody gets attracted. Everybody gets attracted.
What is fulfillment? Is that different from this?
Fulfillment of what?
Fulfillment of, let's say, your mind.
See, there are different types of fulfillment.
Okay.
At the body level, there is a physical fulfillment. When you have good food, there is a fulfillment. Correct? Even the food also, the food which you like, then there is a greater fulfillment. See, there is something called tushti, there is something called santushti. You are hungry, you get some food. There is tushti. But you get the food which you love, then there is santushti. Yes or no?
Yes.
So fulfillment also has got so many levels. You see. So there is a physical fulfillment when you get good food. There is an emotional fulfillment when you are with people whom you love. Isn't it? That's why we have so many dogs and all. Very many houses they have dog. Dog is for what? There is an emotional fulfillment. There is somebody who loves me. So that dog comes, wags his tail, licks you and all that. You feel so nice. What is that? Emotional fulfillment. You don't value that dog or respect that dog. You love that dog, not respect. Isn't it? There's a difference between respect and love. And there are people in your life whom you respect because of their knowledge. You may or may not love them, but you respect them for their attainment, for their knowledge. Because that person's presence makes a difference in your life. That person's knowledge makes a difference in your life. Such people you respect.
Can I love someone but not respect them?
Yeah, your child or this dog. You don't respect your dog.
Yeah.
You love the dog.
Yeah.
Your professors, you respect them. You may not love them. So, intellectual fulfillment is when you have people whom you respect. Or people who respect you. So there is a satisfaction at the intellectual. Yes, I am valued in the society. That feeling comes. So that is an intellectual fulfillment. The awards, rewards, recognitions, praise, they give you intellectual fulfillment. So what I am trying to say is fulfillment has got different levels. Physical, emotional, intellectual. And there is a spiritual fulfillment also. When you completely know yourself as you are.
I am not the body.
Yes, when you know that you are consciousness, functioning through the body. Body is only an instrument. When you know that, there is a spiritual fulfillment. So, fulfillment, when you say, what is fulfillment? We'll have to ask which fulfillment. Because there are different layers of fulfillment.
So when I've achieved all levels of fulfillment, what's next?
This question will not come. What next means still you are unfulfilled.
Oh, okay.
A person who is unfulfilled alone will have questions.
So that is the answer to everything?
Yes. In fact, the questioner disappears. And when the questioner disappears, questions also disappear.
What are your thoughts on drugs and alcohol?
See, these drugs and alcohol, they give you peace. They give you cheap peace. So what do? They quieten the mind. They make the mind peaceful. They forcefully make the mind peaceful. They forcefully make the mind quiet, silent. And a silent mind is a joyous mind. But the problem is, once the effect is over, again the mind comes back to its original state, disturbed state. So that is why people get addicted to drinks and drugs. Because I want peace.
Right.
And once the effect is over, I cannot stand that disturbance. Again I take. So there is a cheap peace. You have not paid any price for it. Other than this, some money which you have paid. You have not really earned that peace, therefore you are losing that peace. So in spirituality, we attain that same peace through spiritual practices, through meditation, prayer, etc. And this peace is something where you have to pay the price. What is the price? Alert, vigilant living is the price. See, the law is, as your thoughts, so will be the state of your mind. This is the law. If your thoughts are negative, your mind will be disturbed. If your thoughts are positive, good, noble, divine, your mind will be peaceful. This is the law. So if I want to have peaceful mind, what should I do? If I need to have a peaceful mind, my thought should be good and noble. This is a price which I have to pay. So therefore, all the time I am watching my thoughts. Are my thoughts good? If there is some negativity, I have to remove it. So in meditation also is a 5-point technique. Observe, detect, eliminate, substitute, strengthen. Observe your mind. Detect the negative thoughts. Eliminate these negative thoughts by entertaining positive thoughts, good thoughts. And strengthen these good thoughts. So good thoughts must become your habits. Right thinking must become your habits. Once this happens, your mind is all the time peaceful. Effortlessly peaceful. Spontaneously peaceful. But for this you have to create a habit of right thinking. Then there is peace all the time. This is a price you have to pay. And this peace will remain forever with you. So then you don't have to depend on drinks or drugs.
That's a temporary peace.
That is only temporary peace. And in the process also, your health is spoiled. And then again you become addicted to it. Whereas in meditation, there is no addiction. It is defect-free peace. And it is of very high. Nature also is very high. Quality is very high. So anything quality if you want, you have to pay a price. Anything cheap, you understand? Peace also at different levels. Cheap peace you want, cheap price you have to pay. Quality, you have to pay the price. And the price you have to pay is alert, vigilant, intelligent living.
So my attention.
Yes, your whole life should be so, what you call disciplined, clean, pure, noble, divine. The whole day. It is not just half an hour of meditation. No. Throughout the day, how you are handling people, what kind of speech, what kind of actions, how you are taking decisions. In every stage when you are alert, vigilant, your thoughts are good and noble, sattvic, pure, righteous. So when your living is righteous, the result of this righteous living is you are blessed with peace. And remember, peace is the greatest treasure in this world. Greatest treasure. Everybody is running around only for peace. And that peace you get. And you are at your best when you are peaceful. You are at your worst when you are disturbed. So peace is the greatest treasure.
Is peace the same as happiness?
Both, yes. Peace, happiness, contentment.
All the same
Fulfillment,
category.
yeah. They're all one.
How much of my life is controlled by God?
How much of your life is controlled by God? God doesn't control your life. You decide your life.
Everything is under my
Everything. For example, what to think. God doesn't interfere. You are thinking, isn't it? You see this law? Beware of your thoughts because they become your words, your actions, your habits, your character.
But if God has no control of my life, then why should I pray?
You see, your prayer is also an action, remember. That is also self-effort. God is the controller of everything. He is the master of all these laws. All the laws are under His control. And one of the laws is, if you approach me, I will help you. That is also a law. But what is the thing? I will not help you just like that. I am available. I am ever ready for you. But if I have to enter into your life, you will have to surrender to me. Now this surrender is something which you have to do. So there is self-effort. The moment you tune to God, He is ever there to guide you, to bless you, to inspire you, to strengthen you. He is ever there. But you have to turn to Him. The turning to Him is a self-effort. You have to turn to light. If you are turning to darkness, you will experience only misery. But when you turn to light, yes. So then He guides you from within. Do this, don't do this. Walk the righteous path. Then everything will be well with you. Don't take the wrong path. He is guiding you from within. Every time the guidance comes from within, you have to walk that path.
So God will show me that I have
Yes.
to take the action.
Yes. From within the guidance comes. You will always find, whenever you are doing something wrong, whenever you are telling a lie, whenever you are dishonest, whenever you are cheating somebody, etc., you will find that there is a guilt. That voice of guilt, that voice of conscience is the voice of God. You have to listen to that voice. You listen to that voice and act accordingly. Everything will be fine with you. But if you ignore that voice and live a licentious life, you will have to suffer.
So guilt is a sign.
Yes, guilt is a sign.
What if I ignore my guilt?
You pay the price for it. The voice is always there. You see, always from within, in our scriptures, we talk about two faculties in us. One is called buddhi, intellect. The other is called manas, mind. So intellect in me always take decisions based on what is right and what is wrong. So intellect says, this is right, do it. This is wrong, let us not do it. The mind says, this I like, let us do it. This I don't like, let us not do it. So intellect take decision based on right and wrong. Mind take decision based on likes and dislikes. Whom should we listen?
intellect.
Yes.
How do I know the difference?
What is right and what is wrong?
No, between the mind and the intellect.
You know the difference. At least in cases where you know the difference, let the intellect decide. For example, there is a junk food. What will the intellect say?
I like it, but it's wrong.
Intellect will say, see, it is junk, it will spoil your health, don't eat. Intellect says, don't do it. What does the mind say? I love it, let us eat. So whom should you listen? So what happens is, the more and more you start listening to your intellect, the more and more that intellect becomes stronger and stronger. When you ignore the mind and listen to intellect, intellect becomes stronger. Just the reverse is also true. When all my decisions are based on my mind and not based on intellect, mind becomes stronger. And mind becoming stronger means what? That mind becomes a monstrous mind. All these drunkards, drug addicts, chain smokers, they are all the people who have listened to their mind. I like it, therefore I am doing it. I don't care whether it is right or not. Slowly the mind becomes very strong. Intellect becomes very weak. And then we suffer throughout our life. Whereas, if you listen to your intellect becomes stronger and stronger. And a time comes when whatever is right, you just love doing it. And that voice of intellect finally becomes voice of God. Because see, it's a struggle. There's a struggle there. There's a struggle between what is right and what I like.
But after a certain point, what is right becomes what I like.
Yes. This is called as personality integration. Then there is absolutely no problem for that person, because what is right, I love doing it. There is no problem. There is nobody to pull him back. And such a person will be successful everywhere. Because whatever is right, he just loves doing it. Mind and intellect becomes one. Such a personality is called integrated personality. Reverse is also true. I keep on listening to mind. A time comes when mind and intellect becomes one. Means what? Whatever I like, I will justify it as right. That is very dangerous.
So let's say intellect knows what's good and bad, but doesn't that differentiate depending on the person? Something I see as good and bad may not be something that someone else sees as good and bad.
Very true, very true. Intellect, it depends from person to person. Exactly like for a fish, swimming in water is right.
Right.
For a monkey, swimming in water is wrong. For a fish, climbing the tree is wrong. For a monkey, climbing the tree is right. So from person to person, what is right and wrong will differ. I need not listen to what is right for others. I have only to listen to what is right for me.
What is right for me, and what if that's wrong for someone else?
See, if something is right for me and is wrong for the totality, then that is wrong. That is called selfishness. Only I am benefited, the totality suffers in my benefit, then that is wrong. In fact, that voice of God will clearly say, you are selfish, don't do it. There will only be guilt. So what is good for all, that alone will be the voice of intellect.
And there will be no guilt. No guilt.
There will not be any guilt, there will only be peace. Whenever you are selfless, there is peace. Whenever you are selfish, there is guilt. That is how that voice is designed. Voice of God is always designed for the welfare of all.
What if I feel as though God has abandoned me?
That is only your feeling. Feeling has nothing to do with the reality. The fact is, whether you believe it or not, whether you know it or not, you are infinitely, unconditionally loved by God. And He is ever with you, He is ever paying attention to you. Whether you know it or not, whether you believe it or not, it doesn't matter.
What if I'm an atheist?
You suffer. Atheist means what? The one who doesn't believe in God.
Yes.
Now, what is the definition of God according to scriptures? Consciousness in you is God. I challenge every atheist. Challenge this statement. Yes, you don't believe in God beyond some heaven, etc. I accept. Fine. But the definition of God is the awareness in you is God. Consciousness in you is God. This is the definition. Prajnanam Brahma. Prajnana means the consciousness. That is God. I don't believe in God. Array, that not believing is also being aware by a consciousness. That I, the pure I, is called God. Can anyone say, I don't believe in this I? Can anyone say this I doesn't exist? Can anyone believe? Can anyone say that? Never.
So atheism doesn't exist.
For a person who has open-mindedness, even if he begins as an atheist, that atheism will go away. Our own Gurudev Puja Swami Chinmaya, who started Chinmaya Mission, he was an atheist. He went to question the Swamijis in the Himalayas. He went to Swami Shivanji Maharaj. But he went with an open mind. See, this is very important. Nothing wrong in questioning God. Nothing wrong. Nothing wrong in questioning spirituality. But that questioning should be with an open mind. Open mind is this. Means if I am convinced, then I am ready to drop my wrong notions and accept this right understanding. If this attitude is there, attitude of open-mindedness is there, then very soon you will reach the reality. But if there is this closed mind, I don't want to listen to anyone. I strongly believe in whatever I know, whatever I understood. I don't want. If this is the attitude, then you suffer. But for open-minded people, even if they are atheists, we can show light. It is said, no? A person who is sleeping, you can wake up. But a person who is pretending to be asleep, you can't wake that person.
So the one who questions, he cannot have a closed mind. Otherwise his questions are useless.
What is that? One who?
So if I'm asking a question, if I don't have an open mind, then there's no point in me asking
No
the question.
point. It's a waste of time. Because you are already, what you call, firm in your prejudice.
Then why question?
See, many times, in our scriptures, there is something called, the discussion also has got various levels. First is called Samvada, the ultimate. There's an enlightened master and there's a disciple. He's asking questions. And when he's not understanding, he doesn't say that, Master, you are wrong. No. He says, Master, it is my inability, because of which I am not able to understand. That is called as Samvada. Then there is something called Vada, the second level. Vada means discussion. So in discussion, two people, they have two different standpoints. They discuss. And when they discuss, and when a person understands that, yes, the other person is right, then he drops his notion and he takes up that. So in a discussion, knowledge is given importance, not the ego. So I'm ready to drop my wrong notion and accept the right understanding of the other person. That is called a discussion. Now, the third one is called a Jalpa. Jalpa is argument. In argument, I am constantly thinking how to defeat the other person. Even though I am convinced that what other person is telling is right, I don't accept because my ego is hurt. So there, knowledge is not given importance, ego is given importance. That is called a Jalpa. And the fourth one is the worst, Vitandavada. This person has no standpoint of his own. His only one thing is, whatever the other person says, I have to prove that it is wrong. The politicians do it, you see. So therefore, in spirituality when it comes, you must have this attitude of open-mindedness. Yes, there may be a possibility that my understanding is wrong. If that is the case, I must have the courage to drop my wrong notion and accept what is right. This needs courage. Dropping the ego is not easy. So if this is his attitude, that person will soon walk the path of light and attain light.
So the best purpose of a discussion is the pursuit of truth.
Yes, with an open-mindedness. Yes, that person will reach the truth. Whichever religion that person may be. Caste, nationality, religion, gender, it doesn't matter.
So to be open-minded, I have to drop my ego.
Yes. What do you want? Do you want your ego or do you want knowledge? Both cannot go together. Greater the ego, lesser the knowledge. Ego and darkness, they go together. Ego and ignorance, they go together. Egolessness and knowledge, they go together.
What about ego and arrogance?
Ego and arrogance both are same.
What's the difference between arrogance and confidence?
Yes, confidence can be of ego, confidence can be of wisdom also. You see, the attitude of a humble person is this: Oh Lord, I can do nothing, but by your grace I can do anything. Left to myself, I am nothing. I am a nobody. But by your grace, I can do anything. And that's what we learned from Hanumanji's life. You see, Hanumanji was just sitting quietly, but then he was totally surrendered unto God. And therefore, what happens? He is able to lift the mountain. He is able to fly and cross over the ocean. He single-handedly burns the entire Lanka. This is the attitude. Bhagavan, left to myself, I am nothing. I can do nothing. But by your grace, I can do anything. That is called real confidence. So confidence is not in my ability. Confidence is in the ability of the Lord.
So I gain confidence by surrendering to God.
Yes, that is real confidence. Otherwise, everything is the confidence of the ego.
The ego and confidence, when it becomes myself, it's wrong.
Yes.
But in the hands of God, that's the true
Yes.
confidence.
Yes.
Okay.
That is perfect confidence, and that confidence will never come. You don't lose it.
And there's
The
no
other ego, the confidence of the ego, you may lose it, because suddenly when the results are not conducive, when you are not seeing the results, all your confidence goes in.
What if I surrender to God and I don't see any results?
Even then your confidence will continue, because you know that the results are coming from Him, and at the right time it will come. And you also know that if He is inspiring you to do something, the result has to come. You know it.
Does Vedic knowledge remain after death?
Vedic knowledge of the person?
Yes.
See, whatever knowledge you have gained in life, whether it is Vedic or non-Vedic, it will remain with you.
Even material knowledge.
Even material knowledge. And that's how we have child prodigies, At a very young age, this child is able to chant a whole Bhagavad Gita, or the child is able to play some musical. You must have seen 2 years, 3 years, and this child is a master. Child prodigies. How do you answer it? Because in this birth, you don't find anything.
What about the religions that don't believe in rebirth? Are they wrong?
See, truth is truth. It doesn't matter whether this religion believes or that religion believes.
Truth does not.
There are so many questions which you cannot answer if you don't believe in rebirth. You cannot answer. For example, this. Even this question, one child is born in slum, the other child is born in a very prosperous, cultured family. If you don't believe in rebirth, how will you answer this? If you are not able to answer, then you will have to say that God is partial. One child is born in an unconducive environment. Another child is born in a very conducive environment. And if you say that no, this is their first birth, then you will have to say that God is partial. God doesn't love this child, God loves that child. And God partial, it cannot be accepted. So there are a lot of problems you will face if you don't believe in rebirth. A lot of questions will be answered if you believe in rebirth. Child prodigies, how will you answer if you don't believe in rebirth?
Does rebirth decide everything of my current life, or just the beginning, where I'm born? And
everything is decided by your actions. Okay. See, your past actions led to your present. Your present actions will lead you to the future. This is the law. This is called as karma theory. Whatever you do now, you are slowly shaping your destiny. Knowingly or unknowingly, consciously or unconsciously, you are shaping your destiny.
So my past actions decide right now?
Yes.
Do my past actions decide the future?
See, you're constantly, in physics there is something called resultant. So there is an object, and that object is exposed to two different types of forces. So then what will happen to the object? For example, there is an object here. You pull this object, say with 5 units of force, and from this direction 10 units of force. So what will happen to this object? It will move this direction 5 units, correct? This is called a resultant. Two forces are acting. Where will the object go?
Where the more forces.
So that is called as resultant. Resultant means the end result.
Right.
The two forces. In the same way, all of us, we are acted upon by two forces. One is the momentum of the past. Whatever past actions we have done, it comes from the past. The second is the self-effort in the present. In the present, how much effort I am putting. So there is an effect of the past, there is an effort in the present, and these two together, they will give the result in the future. So there is the effect of the habit, there is this effort in the present. Together, they determine in future what will happen.
Both are in my control.
Both are in my control, yes.
With the guiding hand of God?
If you turn to God, of course, yes. He will guide you, He will inspire you, He will strengthen you, He will encourage you from within. Yes.
So in Hinduism, we have the yugas, different periods of time.
Yes.
What yuga is right now?
What yuga? They say it is Kali Yuga. Yeah.
What is Kali Yuga?
See, there are 4 yugas: Satya Yuga, Treta Yuga, Dwapar Yuga, and Kali Yuga. Kali Yuga is 4,32,000. That's what the scriptures say. Kali Yuga is 4,32,000. Dwapara is twice Kali, so 8,64,000. Treta is 3 times Kali Yuga, and Satya Yuga is 4 times Kali Yuga. So all the 4 yugas put together we call it Chatur Yuga. Satya, Treta, Dwapara, and Kali, which is 43,20,000 years. So at present Kali Yuga is going on, and they say that 5,000 years are already over. And the nature of Kali Yuga is that people will become more and more extroverted, more and more sensuous. The spiritual knowledge will take a back seat. And therefore in Kali Yuga there will be a lot of suffering also. A lot of wars will be there, suffering will be there. People are generally agitated, miserable, sensuous. So this is the lakshana which are found in our scriptures. So now see, externally Kali Yuga may be going on, but in my mind I can be in Satya Yuga. External world I have no control. The whole world is, it's like a flowing river. You can't have it. But yes, in which yuga I must be born? In the sense, the condition of the mind, that is in my choice. If the mind is very peaceful, contented, full of devotion, full of noble virtues, then definitely you must say that you are in Satya.
Do things get worse throughout Kali Yuga?
It is going to get worse more and more, and we can clearly see that also.
Right. So all these efforts for world peace and things like that, are they of use or not?
It has its own place. But people who are peaceless, they preaching peace will not work. First step in peace is I must be peaceful. Only when I am at peace, I can give peace to others. If I am disturbed, I will give only disturbance to others. So the first step in world peace is individual peace. As far as you don't give importance to that, world peace will just remain a dream.
So until you fix the internal, you cannot fix the external.
Exactly. And that is where education plays a very important role.
So if everybody fixed the internal, wouldn't the world just fix itself?
Yes, true.
And that depends on the good and bad of the intellect?
Yes, you have to give the right understanding. This is called true education. Education is not just teaching a person to read and write. That is not education. True education is moral education. Education about life. When you give that right education, then the whole generation is transformed. And when the whole generation is transformed, the rest everything happens by itself. There is peace and harmony. All problem is because of wrong understanding about life. All these terrorists, they are going on killing. Remember, they are also religious people. What is the mistake? Mistake is they have been fed with wrong information. That you kill people of other religion, that will take you to heaven. If this knowledge is wrong, information is given, it's a problem. So therefore, the solution to all problems in this world is right knowledge of scriptures.
Wrong understanding leads to violence and chaos.
Yes. I am also disturbed, I disturb everyone else.
Right.
Right understanding means what? I am also peaceful and I make everybody peaceful. This is what is needed.
So all these world leaders must first find peace within themselves.
Exactly.
And then
Disturbed people, if you make the leader, he will use, Puja Guruji, Tejaman used to say, the sad, truth of modern world is, we have guided missiles in the hands of misguided people. Guided missiles are perfectly guided, but who is operating the button? Misguided people. That's the problem.
How do I know who's the right person to lead a country?
Selfless, righteous, noble people.
They're hard to find.
See, if you are a righteous person, you will know who is righteous. If I myself am in dark, I will never be able to do.
Everything starts with myself.
Yes. That is why we should educate the people first. Educated people, wise people, they know. Those who have eyes, they know who have eyes. Those who are blind, they will never know who has eyes. You understand?
Okay. So let's say I have attained my peace. Why can't I just sit home and enjoy my peace? Do I have to go out and spread it?
It all depends on what the inner voice says. Once you are in peace, you are in tune with the Creator. In tune with your Creator and the Creator of the cosmos. So from within a voice comes, you have attained peace. Isn't it your responsibility to spread this peace to others? And this is exactly what happened to Swami Chinmaya. He attained that peace from his Guru, Swami Taponji Maharaj. But every time he used to go to Ganga to take bath, he felt that Mother Ganga was speaking to him. So Ganga Maya would say, see, I am born in the Himalayas, but I flow down for the welfare of the world. Chinmaya, isn't it your responsibility also? You have gained this knowledge. You are experiencing this peace. There are so many people who are suffering. Isn't it your responsibility to give this knowledge to others who are suffering? And that's how Puja Gurudev, Swami Chinmaya came down and then started this mission, Chinmaya Mission. So once you are peaceful, from within comes a sweet voice, which is a compelling voice. You can't ignore that voice.
Is that part of human nature?
Yes, a person who is in tune with his higher nature.
To spread peace and happiness.
Yes.
So first attain my own happiness.
Exactly.
And then help others.
Exactly.
So what is the Hindu heaven and hell?
See, in Hinduism, the term used for the word is loka. Sargaloka, Nargaloka, etc. And if you see the meaning of this loka, lokyate iti loka. Lokyate means anubhuyate, that which you experience. Loka doesn't mean world. Loka means that which you experience. Now tell me, when I am remaining in this world, am I living in my thoughts or am I living in this world? What is actually my world? Is it the world of the external things, beings and situation, or is it the world of my thoughts? You will always find that we are not living in this external world. We are living in our thoughts.
In the mind.
Yes. So, it is possible that a person may be living in a very luxurious environment, very rich, so many servants serving, a big resort on the shore of the ocean, You see? The best food, the best comforts, everything best. But if his mind is agitated, anxious, worried, tensed, stressed, is he in heaven or is he in hell?
Hell.
Yes. Though he is in heaven with all comforts, where is he living? He is not living in the outer world at all. He is not able to enjoy anything because his mind is occupied with all negativities. Such a person, we say, he is living in hell. So the most important thing is not your external world. The most important thing is your internal world of thoughts. This has to be first understood. So we are all living, though we are all in the same world, but each one's world is different. It all depends on what that person is going through in his mind. So in Hinduism, always this is focused. Your mind. What kind of mind you are? If your mind is disturbed, even in heaven, you are in hell. And if your mind is peaceful, even in hell, you are in heaven.
What about after death?
After death, where are you? You are still with your mind. Your mind goes along with you. So if your mind is disturbed here, your mind will remain disturbed here after also. After that, death is just a dropping of physical body, which has no much significance. Your Sukshma Sharira, that's the term used. You are always with your Sukshma Sharira only. Sukshma Sharira means subtle body. This is called as Sthula Sharira, gross body. That bundle of thoughts is called Sukshma Sharira, subtle body. So at the time of death, it's only the physical body which dies. The bundle of thoughts will remain the same. So therefore, if while living, I have been living in a hellish mind, my hellish thoughts will continue even after death also.
So at the time of death, my mental state decides the next.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
But I don't know when I'm going to die.
See, at the time of death, they say the last thoughts will decide the next birth of that person. Yam yam vapi smaran bhavam tejatyante kalevaram tam tamaivaiti kaunteya sadatad bhava bhavita. This is the law. It's in Bhagavad Gita. At the time of death, whatever that person thinks, whatever thoughts pass through the mind of that person, those thoughts will determine his future birth. So naturally a question may come. So then fine, at the time of death, I will think some good thoughts. You can't. Because the last thought is a sum total of all the thoughts which you have been entertaining throughout your life. There is a momentum of thoughts. You can't change it in the last moment. So if I have been thinking only negative things throughout my life, that negative thoughts would have gathered a momentum, a habit. Sada tad bhava bhavita. That person has become that. You see, if that person is a money-minded person, or money-minded means what? Mind was always in money. So all the time thinking of money, 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 money. So at the time of death, what kind of thoughts will come? Money-minded thoughts only will come. Money-related thoughts only will come. Which will decide his next. So therefore, last thought cannot be chosen. It is said, Prana prayana samaye kafavada vittehi kantavarodhana vidhau smaranam putaste. Bhagavan, at the time of death, prana prayana samaye, when that prana is leaving the body, kafavada vittehi kantha avarodhana vidhau, when the throat is choked with kapha, vata, pitta, when there is pain all over the body, Bhagavan, how is it possible to remember him? Meaning, at that time of death, that person cannot choose his thoughts. Whatever he has been thinking, those thoughts only will pop up. If that person has been thinking of God, his life is very divine, so at the time of death also he will think of God. So therefore, again, coming back to the same point, our life must be disciplined throughout. Intelligently when we live our life, then the last thought, automatically such good thoughts come, noble thoughts come, and then everything is fine.
So every moment, I'm preparing for death
Yes. Yes.
with each thought.
Yes. Yes. Consciously you are choosing good thoughts and making it a habit. So that mind thinks only of good thoughts, divine thoughts.
So I should think of God to get the best in the next life.
Yes, absolutely yes. Absolutely yes. Not only next birth, in this birth itself you start enjoying.
Right.
There is more and more peace, happiness, joy, cheerfulness, contentment. You enjoy this here also and hereafter also.
What if I don't want to be reborn?
Then the law is Antakale cha mameva smaran muktva kalevaram yaf prayati samadbhavam yati nasti atra samshaya. At the time of death, a person who thinks of me, such a person has no rebirth. Because God means bliss. God means infinite peace. Such a person who is experiencing infinite peace, will he have any desire?
No.
All desires are for happiness, peace, etc. Isn't it? A person who is already experiencing infinite peace, he will not have any desire. And because at the time of death there is no desire, because the next birth is always determined by my desires. The unfulfilled desires, to fulfill those desires, I take next birth. That's a law. So at this time, see, the whole cosmos is designed to fulfill my desire. Whatever desire I entertain in my mind, the cosmos is designed to fulfill it.
So let's say I have unfulfilled desires
Ah.
and I take birth again.
Yes.
Won't I have more desires in the next birth?
Yes, it is up to you.
So
It's
a
possible.
cycle.
Yes. So every time you have some unfulfilled desire, again you are reborn in order to fulfill them. That is the logic of rebirth. There is a science behind it. So here is a person who has no desire at the time of death. Then there is no rebirth. There is no rebirth. Is it possible to have no desires at the time of death? Yes, if you are absolutely fulfilled. Is it possible to get absolute fulfillment? Yes, when you have known yourself. When you have known yourself as absolutely perfect consciousness. Once you know yourself as infinite, immortal, blissful, there is nothing lacking. Once you know that, what desire you will?
All desires are dropped once I have realization.
All drops, all desires just vanish. There's a desire for security that goes away because consciousness is ever secure. There's a desire for happiness that is also gone because consciousness is anand, blissful.
So every desire is of the body, not of the consciousness.
Yes,
And
all
I'm not
desires
the body.
come from wrong notion that I am the body.
So we spoke of Hindu, heaven, and hell. So what is the difference between sin and not sin? Good and sin?
Anything which disturbs the mind is a sin. This is our definition of sin.
What if something disturbs my mind but doesn't disturb your mind? Or disturbs your mind but doesn't
See, the
disturb my mind?
proof that you have sinned is a disturbed mind.
Okay.
That's a proof. Just like, body. If there is some pain in the body, that means there is some problem in the body. Pain and problem, they go together. If there is a stomach ache, that means something is wrong with the stomach.
What if there's a growing pain?
Any pain, understand there is a problem. The proof that body is healthy is that you are not even aware that there is a body. Then that means body is healthy. In the same way, the proof that your mind is healthy is you are not even aware of any pain in the mind. Any disturbance of any kind shows that my thinking is wrong. And that wrong thinking is called sin.
Is discomfort different?
They are all one and the same. You may use different terms, discomfort, pain, whatever.
What is the true meaning of the word yoga?
Yoga comes from the term yuj. Yuj means to unite. So, yoga means the technique to unite with God. So, there are so many yogas. Bhakti yoga. Bhakti means devotion. So, the technique to unite with God through devotion, that is Bhakti yoga. Then we have knowledge, Jnana yoga. The technique to unite with God through Jnanam, knowledge, that is Jnana yoga. Then we have Karma yoga. Technique to unite with God through karma, action. So in this way there are so many yogas, Hatha Yoga, Kundalini Yoga, Ashtanga Yoga, so many yogas. So yoga means to unite with yourself. And God means what? Your own self. The way to reach your own self, the way is called yoga. All these are different ways. Just like, there's a mountain. How to reach the peak? There are so many ways. From this way, that way. Whichever way, you are climbing higher and higher. And finally you reach one point. There all the yogas meet. That meeting point is knowing the self. Whatever path you take, finally you know your own self. You know yourself. That is the meeting point.
Once I know myself, everything else
Matter is over.
So
it's like waking up from a dream world. After waking up, what? That question doesn't even ask.
you feel relieved.
You don't ask this question. After waking up, what will you do? And waking up is over. All the questions of the dream vanishes because the dreamer himself vanishes. All the questions in the dream is for the dreamer. What happens when you wake up? When you wake up, you come to know, I am not the dreamer, I am the waker. And once you are the waker, you have no more questions of the dream. Questioner disappears, dreamer disappears. This is the purpose of life.
So in the beginning, you spoke of you observe your thoughts.
Yes.
You are not your thoughts.
Yes.
Where do these thoughts come from?
These thoughts are coming from your desires. Whatever you desire, it will express as thoughts.
So desires are, like we said, come from the previous life. Is that the only cause of a desire?
Everything from previous, from this birth, everything. Desires means expression of ignorance is called desires. I
So
don't
what
know
does that
myself,
mean?
I think I am the body. From this wrong
Okay.
notion comes all these desires.
So is there a way I can fulfill all my desires and then be done? Or do I have to drop them all at once?
Desires disappear when you know yourself. Otherwise the desire will keep on coming. Just like, waves in the ocean. Will there be a time when all the waves will subside? No. One after the other it will keep coming. In the same way.
So to know oneself, one must first desire to know oneself.
Yeah, natural.
That also
You must
is a
understand the importance of self-knowledge. And this happens in satsang. When you associate with the voice, you come to know, oh, I have taken a wrong track. There is a right track. It's only through satsang that happens.
Swamiji, do you ever feel anger?
Do I feel anger?
Yes.
I can say that after coming to spirituality, I am a far better person. I do not say I have conquered anger 100%. I don't say that. But yes, there is a huge difference between who I was, and what I am.
Is spirituality the answer to control emotions?
Definitely is. See, once your mind is under your control, anything related to mind is also under your control. Whether it is emotions, whether it is inspiration, concentration, anything related to mind. It is a permanent way. There may be some temporary solutions. But if you want a permanent solution, this is only. See, from where is anger coming from? Anger is actually coming from desires. You desire something badly and you want to get it, and somebody comes and prevents. At that time, that intense desire takes the form of anger. The greater the intensity of desire, greater will be the intensity of anger. Thwarted desire becomes anger. Unfulfilled desire becomes anger. You see? So whenever there is anger, you will always find that there is some desire, intense desire.
So no desire, no anger.
Naturally, once the desires are gone, everything else.
The answer to everything is lose my desires.
Yes. And giving up desires means what? Know yourself. So answer to everything is know thyself.
Wouldn't one have the desire to provide for a family or have a family or provide for friends, whatever it is? Aren't those desires?
Materialistic desires.
Okay.
Yeah, fulfill it. Holding on to God, fulfill it. Nothing wrong.
So I was watching one of your speeches the other day, and you said When love is thick, fault becomes thin.
Yes.
What does that mean?
See, mother loves the child, isn't it? And then because she loves the child intensely, whatever the child does, she is able to forgive the child. See, fault is becoming thin. Got it? The child does lot of mischiefs, but the mother is able to forgive. Why? Because there is so much of love. Whereas her neighbor does a small mistake, and she doesn't love the neighbor, maybe some jealousy or hatred or something. That small mistake, fault becomes thick when the love becomes thin. That is also true.
How do you define that love?
It all depends from person to person. First, there is worldly love. But once the spiritual love takes over, what is spiritual love? I know that I am consciousness, and I know that everybody is consciousness. The love which is born out of this vision of oneness, love which is born out of spiritual knowledge, that is universal love.
Okay, let's say I'm consciousness. We are all consciousness.
Yes.
So if I love myself, then I therefore love everybody else.
Yes, I'm seeing myself there.
Okay.
I'm not seeing somebody else there. I'm seeing myself.
Can that be called selfish if I love myself?
Selfish with S capital. Selfish. There are two types of self.
Okay.
Small s and big self. So actually, selfish with S capital is selfless. Because there is no me now. There is only we.
So I become one with everybody.
Yes. Then that becomes selfless. It is not something which is good for only for me. No. What is good for everyone, I do.
And what separates me from everybody else is my ego.
Exactly. Exactly.
So I drop the wall. I drop the ego. It's like dropping a wall.
Yes. Yes. Otherwise you are living in an island, cut off from the mainland. An egoistic person always feels lonely because he thinks he has an independent existence other than the totality. Whereas a person who has effaced the ego, he feels always connected with the totality.
Should everyone turn to a spiritual life?
It's your choice. If you want to continue your misery, and it's up to you. You know that what is that this thing called? Merry-go-round. You know that merry-go-round, the huge wheel. So you sit there and then you go round and round and round and then you come out. How long do you want to go there? It's up to you. You pay the money and you be there. When do you want to come out? Fine, anytime you can come out in the same way.
So the spiritual life is getting off the giant wheel.
Yes, rebirth, re-death. You're enjoying it, continue.
And the ultimate goal is to.
Yes, you can exit also. That is your choice. If you want to exit, you can. Remember, birth and death means it is terrible. Janma, mrityu, jara, vyadi, dukkha dosha anudarsanam. The Lord who created this world, what does he say? This rebirth or coming to this world, it's misery. Birth is misery. Death is misery. Old age is misery. Disease is misery. How many varieties of sufferings are there in this world? And finally, death. The final laugh is a laugh of death only. Do you want to continue? Fine, choice is yours. Or do you want to put an end? Fine, then come back, come out. Choice is yours. Come to the spiritual path and get rid of this.
So if life is filled with such misery, shouldn't we all desire for death?
Whether you desire or not, you will die. No choice is given to you. Isn't it? This is the reality of life. The reality of life is everybody has to die. Rich and the poor. Educated and the uneducated. No freedom is given. But yes, to come back to this life or not, yes, that freedom is given. You can make this birth last birth.
It's my goal.
Yes, that's what scriptures say. Make this your goal and live in such a way. There may be short-term goals, long-term goals, but the lifetime goal should be come out of this.
So, know your consciousness.
Yes.
Destroy
Not
your
know
desire.
your consciousness, know consciousness.
No, I am consciousness.
Know yourself.
Yes. Know yourself. Extinguish desires.
Yes.
and that's peace.
That's it.
Alright. Swamiji, thank you for your time.
Had a good time with you also.
Thank you.